Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Albion TV, and you join us for the final invasion day of the season. It's coming to you in two parts this evening. We've got the EU invasion right now with myself, Shozen and Bogul, and then at midnight UTC, we'll have Robin Hooders here, I believe, to bring you all of the NA invasion coverage. Now, as you're hearing my voice, interestingly, I actually said this 15 minutes ago, but we have run a stream delay on this show. We will let you know about that because we don't want to give away information about all of the armies moving around. And boy, will there be a lot of armies moving around today, Shozen. Everybody will be out in their finest CVZ gear. We're expecting big fights, massive casualties, and huge amounts of gear being looted and trashed. Are you ready to go?
Absolutely. I'm always looking forward to these invasion days. It's a lot of fun. And as we come in on Derek here, it does look like he has jumped in on top of Para in a dungeon in the Cathedral of Light. First action of the day. We have been bouncing around trying to find content. Everybody is out, like Lewpac says, but very little early action today. But perhaps we'll get to see a round two with Para as they are continually being pushed to the southwest.
I like the evict these nuts alliance. it's just very, very good. Yeah, so Consequence is Derek's new guild. Good to see him active in the game as well. You know, one of the longest standing and probably most well-known players in the game. Rocking the one-hand mace. He's just trying to basically kill the kiters, the stragglers here, the defensive tanks. Looks like they are on the warpath to the west. And yeah, whoever they caught basically got murdered with minimal casualties, it looks like. Although fighting underneath these elite mobs is pretty hair-raising sometimes. Like they're no joke, are they, Shows, some of these mobs?
Absolutely not. And if you don't pay attention, they can wipe out your backline support and healers in seconds. It does not take many hits to get one of those guys downed, and then anybody in that brawl situation can come over with an execute play and take them out from the fight. And those are the ones that allow your fight to keep going.
There is a random loot rat inside them right now who they are trying to kill. He's stealthing his way to the exit, and I think he's got himself in combat, which you love to see. You love to see.
Yeah, you love to see a good rat in combat. They're unable to get out.
Up there. They are shooting him.
Into the mob.
Are they gonna kill him? Yeah, they're gonna kill him. Bot is noob. He goes down.
There's also one that ran himself into the mobs.
Yeah,
Well, that's a strategy. What you do is you run into the mobs, go invisible, then the mobs immediately jump on the people who were attacking you.
Triumph. Some Triumph people have zoned in. We know those French people, they love to throw down in a bit of ZVZ action, so they might be looking to get involved in this dungeon free-for-all.
I do love how we have seen more and more of that, where groups are no longer merging into gigantic coalitions and splitting the forces of the game into two sides. We're seeing many more three-way fights, four-way fights. We've even seen six-way fights recently, and that's just an awesome way to see this game play out.
Kill the mobs is the call from these guys. The red glow also denotes some of them are upgraded, which means they're even more deadly. Some familiar faces as well. I see Absolve, a long-time Derek loyalist here as well.
We've seen a lot of people, and even Artista is back, and as a member of Evict here. We're seeing a lot of old school players coming back to the game, as we have noted time and time again. The game is in a great state right now, specifically for Outlands content. If you like living in your territory, if you like fighting for your territory, if you like consistent medium scale content, you're going to find that in the Black Zones right now, and people are enjoying the shit out of it.
Yeah, and like you said, it's definitely in a good spot. The numbers don't lie. I'm just popping outside here because I did see a tank from Triumph. I want to see if there's anything else on the radar here. Yeah, okay, so outside here, I have a huge group of Triumph weighing in at level 31 for a single guild. Inside the dungeon is obviously the Evict guys weighing in at, I last got them at 38 level disarray, so level 40 now. So if you're not familiar with these levels, basically the game assigns you a disarray level. And this is based on the number of people from your alliance in any given zone and also queuing for a zone at any given time. And the difference between the two forces disarray, whoever has the higher gets a damage debuff against the enemy. They do less damage to the enemy.
Less
Which
CC
is,
as well.
yeah, CC is diminished as well. So it's just a way of balancing it. Like numbers, overwhelming numbers will still generally win out unless there is a massive skill difference. But disarray helps level the playing field ever so much. And it looks like it is kicking straight off, by the way. Derek, that whole time, was riding a golem. I didn't even notice that on a golem. And some of his boys are getting across this bridge. Triumph looking for the catch on there. But it's going to be a bit of a stalemate on this bridge here in Wetsgrave Swale. It does look like there's a shallows to the north and a tiny shallows and bridge to the west. So this is going to be a bit of a stalemate here because nobody is really going to want to brute force this bridge, are they, Shozen?
No, it's very difficult. It's a very long bridge, and you will get caught in the second wave. You might be able to get your defensives down as you come through on your first wave. A lot of support. You can even use Night Helms to send a group all the way across, but we typically see in the second engage from the group outside of the bridge, very significant damage done. It's very hard to bust all the way through.
I think what we're going to see is a bit of posture and a bit of back and forth, and then ultimately maybe a flank squad to get things started. Oh wow, okay, called it, Shozen.
There it is, right there on time. Derek goes in with the distraction, and from the eastern south, we do see quite a flank proceed into Triumph.
And now the bridge is completely broken. Like that flank hit them. They waited for the defenses to go out. Now Evict did, like, unsurprisingly, they lost a load of people in the counter here, but they fully took the bridge. And now this force coming from the northwest behind Derek has all their cooldowns, all their resources, and I fully expect Triumph to just be murdered en masse here. And they are their line is breaking. They're doing a good job of saving people. They're doing a good job of kiting. Let's see if they can actually return something. And oh, nice. They get some good kills to the north. But this is, yeah.
Triumph has been very, very good at absorbing attacks like this and then lasting through them. We've been watching these two groups actually go at it for a couple of days now. They are very familiar with themselves, and it has gone back and forth. But I would not put it past Triumph to turn this one around at some point.
I mean, every solid French player that I've known from the game that's still playing is in this guild, so it's unsurprising that they're able to put on a good fight despite being outnumbered and getting flanked. I do see them mowing down any of the overextended Evict boys there. I think Evict maybe smelt blood and loot and got a little bit too aggro there because there is still plenty of bodies on the line for Triumph. Derek wants to set something up on this golem, but the defensive glacials, I see defensive soul sides.
They're going in on Derek now. They're going to go hit his. They're going to hit his golem now, and he is all the way down to the very end of his health bar here. They do push him off, but a great flank from the north of Triumph from Evict does take out a huge number of their remaining members, and this might have been the winning blow.
Evict is taking a lot of casualties as well. So, I mean, I think this fight is whittling down numbers size, right? Let me jump on somebody who I can get a debuff. Derek is dismounted. Their debuff is down to 33 from 40. That is still bigger than Triumph had to start with. So I think you might be right. They may have the upper hand in here, but let's not count out the French forces yet. Not to mention the rats have arrived behind the Evict boys. Derek's trying to mount up here. Will anyone see it, though? Will anyone see it and interrupt it? Oh, they're going to give him a free remount here. That's always nice.
We do have another fight over there. Bogul has put on the second screen. This fight is very, very stretched. All the way to the wall in the north from where we are here. It's very impressive how far these two are fighting in a line. Just massive front lines here. And it does look like Evict is regrouping a bit, and Triumph is on the push.
Yeah, I think they got a
very surprised by that. Yeah, very surprising.
Reinforcements wise, House of Games has a hideout here. Pitum. There's no hideout for either in this zone, so I'm not sure what the reinforcement situation is. But yeah, as you said, it's a big long stretch. When you're in the open, honestly, the worst thing you could do is fight in one blob. you have to play wide in these situations. There is no choke point. And if you don't play wide, not only are you vulnerable to those flanks, to those wrap rounds, but also when you do get hit, everybody gets hit together. If you spread wide, you minimize the casualties. DPS should always play wide anyway in these situations and look to come in around the tanks rather than behind the tanks. Because 9 times out of 10, the counter attack comes on top of the tanks. And if that's where you're shooting your DPS, you're just going to be a collateral damage while the tanks all pop their res pots and get out of there. And it looks like Evict is being pushed back towards the shallows here.
Very impressive brawl gameplay by Triumph here. Once it got mixed very deep and it wasn't an engage versus engage gameplay anymore, Evict wasn't really up to the brawl that we saw happen. They spread them out, they got deep into their mid lines, and they just kept staying there, forcing Evict to try to choose targets. And they cycled those targets really well. And it's over here. I'm going to head over to Angelique now.
Demolished by the halberd squad is what they're saying.
Yeah, there was a great flank. It really got into their mid lines, and it was absolutely.
It was Vix that had the first flank and the bridge break, and like you said, it was really well absorbed by Triumph. Really well kited, nice wide gameplay. Outside the Dark Bristag Castle, then we have a rogue natives of PoE reject party bearing down upon them. But as this is PoE, we've got Crimson coming in behind, and this is, I mean, I don't know how many years we've been telling people about the Syndic sandwich, right? Like when you fight PoE, you've got to expect the rest of PoE. You're on a timer, aren't you? If you catch a PoE guild alone, get the job done, get the loot, and get out, because this is what's coming if you hang around too long. And we may need a new POV. They do have the castle, actually, so they're able to fall back inside the castle. They've got quite a meaty force as well. But they're about to be surrounded on all sides by PoE, aren't they?
Yeah, they're going to be surrounded, but I would say that right now, Reject Party is one of the most solid ZVZ forces we have out there, and they have been fighting against larger numbers consistently, whereas PoE, maybe in one of their, I don't want to be too negative here, but they're one of their lower skill per player times, I would say. There's a lot of new people being skilled up. Their ZVZ game has been a mixed bag recently, and we've seen them lose to smaller groups quite a few times in the last few months. So it'll be interesting to see what Angelique does here. Comes in, great catch. The follow-up, 0 defensives. This is what we've been talking about from PoE recently. Not enough support play. Too much paying attention to, I don't know, what would it be? Maybe not enough independence for the support players to be able to watch and drop their own skills.
I mean, they literally, right? There's only 3 doors, Shozen. Right? If you can't have an eye on all 3 doors in a castle fight, then you've got no business ZVZing, right? All it needed was one person with a microphone say, hey, there's a big force coming out of the eastern door. Just get ready in the courtyard. Job done. Job done. Enough. Right?
That would have done it.
And those guys just walked out with a, not just walked out with a command mammoth, right? They weren't discreet about it. This wasn't a stealth squad. There was a lad riding a mammoth out the front door, and PoE managed not to spot it. There is another big force coming in, by the way.
We've got another big fight, too. I'm over on Red Relief. Oh, and as I say that, I think he just may have gotten delete. I needed to find somebody else here. We have Mighty Frogs versus RAQ over in Driftwood Vale. I need to find another target for that. I'll get in there. Yeah.
Oops, have arrived at this fight. Reject Party are exiting the castle. It looks like PoE are being murdered on the door by Oops. I think Reject Party and Oops might be, you know, working together here. Angelique's going to go back and check bodies for loot. I don't know. Or is he going to prep for a counterattack from Reject Party? I have no idea here, actually.
Well, I'm going to go back over to Reject Party and watch that with you. Bogul looks like he's going to
people calling each other animals in Say Chat. Always nice to see a bit.
It's nice. Well, you know, hey, you're a real animal. I like what you're doing out here. You're a beast on the field. You're a beast.
E-dating is a sin. says
True. True.
Angelique. I mean, is it though? Is it
Oh,
just
it's a great way to destroy your guild. Like, just saying. Yeah, I'm going to head back over to Lukovka here. I came over to Reject Party. It does look like it's a bit of a mixed showing over here. But that Lukovka fight with War Gods, GDL, absolutely fully engaged here versus the Mighty Frogs. And
do you like
oops.
War Gods? War Gods have been another one, right? Who have had various power levels throughout like their existence in Albion. And right now they're pretty strong, I would say. The GDL Alliance is definitely doing some stuff, and Conflict teaming up with the Mighty Frogs, two of the other like long-standing guilds that we've had around. And obviously any of the good French players that aren't in Triumph are probably in Mighty Frogs. Like
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
This is like the, if you have a beef with somebody in Triumph or a reason not to be there, you're probably in Mighty Frogs instead, and vice versa. Very, very long-standing guild. You recognize these players from back in the day. Say My Name, Metatron, all those like back in the day. We had tons of really good guilds. Oh, look at this. This is a nice hit onto Conflict. The Northern Swamp from GDL, Lukovka and the boys getting deep into the action. Some lovely HOJ, that Hand of Justice coming down, clumping them up for the boys, delivering them a juicy, juicy feast full of loot bags ready to be collected. Nice use of the bongos, actually. I do like to see the Oath Keepers in ZVZ. I think when you're pushing back through a choke or pushing in through a choke, Oath Keepers can really make a difference to the whole thing. Very, very useful support weapon. And of course, you've also got access to like guard runes, snare charge, a bunch of other good utility spells with that kit. Big fan of that weapon. It saved a few people there, but this looks like GDL all the way on our screen, Shozen.
Yeah, from what I saw in the beginning, it looked very even with the first few engages, but then second half of this fight, all GDL. But GDL, with the addition of Rack right now, has some serious numbers on the field, and they pull hard. Yeah. They're no joke right now as far as numbers. And like we said before, unless you have a very significant skill advantage over your opponent, that disarray is not going to win you the fight. It can at times, if you're very, very skilled and know how to weave, know how to use the objects in the field to your advantage. But if you're just trying to play engagement and counter engage, you're going to lose to numbers.
Exactly, but like you said, because as long as the bigger numbers are aware of the basic principles, they know that if they just commit half their force, wait for the counter, and then commit the other half, they know if they can hit that 10-second window with no cooldowns available, you're just going to blast everybody. Because the Judies are going to go down, the Locusts are going to go down, the Enigmatics are going to go down in that first engage. The second one should murder everybody. Maybe there's a few people that still have their res pot. But like you said, if there's a high skill group and they've already kited out one engage, maybe they can soak the second. Maybe they play waves of defenses. There is groups capable of fighting 2-1, 3-1 against weaker opponents. But I would say, most of the large forces that have always relied on numbers, they're also used to fighting with numbers. They know how to do it, like even against skilled people. And like you said, like the worst thing that the skilled group can do is get stuck in like a last stand situation inside a castle, inside a territory. They need that space to weave. They need to kite. They need to weave, because that's when the superior, like, it's not just the superior communications, the superior like tactics or shot caller or whatever comes in, right? That's also when having better players who can play independently, right? You need support players and like people like Grail Seekers that can think, right, I'm going to slow these guys up. I don't need to be told that I need to slow this little flank up for 3 seconds. That's going to buy my guys 3 seconds. There's no way they can full engage on me solo, so I might as well hold up this flank, give my boys 3 seconds to kite and reposition, and I'll loop around this rock and I'll rejoin them in a bit. You need players that are able to just play without being... I've always joked about CVZ. It's just like 100 grown men sitting around waiting until a guy who lives in his nan's basement tells them to press E and in what direction they should press it. But
absolutely. It's absolutely true.
skilled players, especially things like enigmatics, grail seekers, stuff like that. Those guys having that awareness, reading the fight, that's what changes everything, honestly. And
I'm heading over to Wodak here
people.
from Dove. We have another tunnel situation. Bogul, what's going on here? Did Dove get pushed out by Girth?
Seems like it. AAA was getting shreked here in the tunnel.
Often get pushed out by cash. What? It's a Bogul. We can't. Like, how could you not? Just Bogul sits there with a straight face when he says, "Doves." What's wrong with you guys, man? Maybe it's a British thing, but oh, maybe you boys don't have girth, and that's why you don't find it funny. Sure, whatever.
Well, I think we're all used to it, and that's why it's not such a big deal.
Right. It's so experienced.
When it's the first time you've heard it in a while, Lewpac, I guess that it really is shocking to you.
Yeah, okay, maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just childish. I don't know. Wood.
You do talk about video games for a living.
What do we call this guy? Wood.
I think Woo
would it-
DC, but
Woo DC.
Woo DC?
Oh, yeah,
Well, Woo
Wood.
DC is doing not much right now.
He is doing the safety sprint. This is the stride of pride. It's the opposite.
Well,
of
go
the,
back
it's
to
the
Cynic then.
opposite of the walk of shame.
I also want to say we have Dominic completely trapped inside of a dungeon right now by the Dice Alliance. All of Surf inside of a dungeon, Dice outside, a conglomeration of smaller guilds really holding him inside, which is a real evil tactic to pull off. Head over to Syndic now.
Hidden Mines 1. I mean, yeah, it's 35% in there. The problem is, yeah, like you said, if you play the bubble outside, it's pretty good. And we have seen an entire Zerg trapped out of Invasion Day before. Do you
Oh
remember
yeah,
that?
a number of times. And Syndic
yeah.
has been responsible for that on a couple of occasions. I think you're talking about the time that Blue Army was completely trapped inside of a castle for 3.5 hours and got 0 objectives done.
Yeah, they were stuck inside a castle. I've seen multiple guilds hideout camps. I've also seen a couple of reverse hideout camps before. I saw Conflict chase Sun into a hideout. Sun de-geared, suicided back to the other hideout which their home was set, and went off and did reset day. And Conflict camped it for about half an hour. There was only about 3 guys in there who didn't have a different home.
Oh my god!
And I saw PoE do the same to it was in the first Holy War. It was one of the guilds in that. I might have been a rat guild, but basically PoE thought they had them in this hideout, and there was no one in there. They'd gone in exactly the same de-geared. They had their home set somewhere else, or they went to town, and it was like these guys sat there like, yeah, we got them here, lads. And there's no one in there, mate. You're just wasting your time. That's the reverse hideout camp. Reject Party getting it on with PoE today. They've got this lovely high ground advantage. This is a great vantage point to fight from, though, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. But the problem is if you get pushed on this, if you get flanked in any way, you're up against the wall. There's 0 place to retreat.
Yeah.
You can't go north because there's a ledge. You can't go southwest because there's a wall. If there's any push on that, you get destroyed. But it does look at this point like Reject Party is a little bit low on numbers. So
a bit lower on numbers after these boys die. And that is a beautiful wall to bomb from, though, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's
a good bomb spot. I wouldn't want to base my entire force from there. It does look like POD did have enough over the top so that they could protect themselves, but you got to be careful when you're going against a skilled group like Reject Party.
Oh, they got hit
And here
by
comes
that poison
flank.
spray. Got hit by that poison spray. Syndic sends in the call, though. They want to turn, they want to hit, but they need to get deep. There's a lot of clothies caught on this tree line. They managed to
got
grab
eliminated
but,
there.
But most of them got out. And now, those glacials raining down the PoE guys. But also, they know, look at the
Again,
awareness.
hit, like I said, that group is bomb squatting up the hill.
Yeah, but if they run to that wall, they could just get healed from the high ground as well. It's beautiful. It's such
now,
a great...
if Reject Party can get around that, look what just happened. That There's nowhere to go for PoE on that wall. It's a great place to do a bomb squad. It is a horrible place to retreat to. You retreat to it, you're dead. And that's what we just saw. Go over to Angelique.
Beautiful stuff there. Man, some hectic action. We should mention, by the way, that the
They should
reason
listen
we
to
are
the
here
show is all I'm
today,
saying, Lewpac, is these PoE really needs to listen to the tactics I'm trying to teach them during these shows. If
I
they
mean,
just
no,
listened and
didn't-
took it for what it was, they could do so much better. If you guys need somebody to call, send me a message.
just had an enigmatic with a brain stood there to save that clump, and things were Gucci, to be honest. But yeah, like you said, they all kind of get funneled back through that wall, don't they?
It's too tight.
They were
There's a tree there.
They were probably better off just chilling at the bottom of the cliff and getting healed from the high ground and spreading out, like rather
But
than
they
trying to
just
get back
spread to the
down.
northeast there. The only escape route there was to the northeast. They had a bomb squad to their south east.
But just don't retreat. Just have faith in your healers.
need
To
to.
heals from
No,
the high ground.
I've been watching PoE. They need to fall back into their healers. They can't have their healers don't come forward well enough. They need to fall back, make sure they get covered by their healers. But you got to be careful when you fall back into a place where you're going to get caught. You have to fall back to a place where you can mush rush, where you can start that brawl. And they would have been fine had they gone to their northeast, I believe, on that one.
Noob Slayer.
All 8-3 masterpiece. Sorry, who has?
Noob Slayer 79.
Love it. Love it.
We also have Red Relief, so maybe that'll be the same one.
All right. So the reason we're all here, by the way, is for Invasion Day, which, if you didn't know, is where all the territories drop ownership and they come up for claiming. In 4 minutes' time, approximately, the EU territories will be available to claim if you can defeat the vengeful Guardian Elite Spirit Lord that's defending them and channel the tower. You will get to claim it with your boss team. And then all the NA territories will go live at 1 a.m. UTC. Noobster and the Poorer Boys are getting run down by the Ink Alliance right now. Heals, ? In say chat from your players is not what you want to see. And it does look like these guys are going to go. Oh, there's a little bloodletter coming around here looking for some kills. Oh, I like that. I really like that from the tanks there, Shozen. Just preventing the bloodletter from executing the Clothy because they know he can't do anything to them. He does end up getting caught anyway. He ran the wrong way. But still, oh, no, he's getting heals. Vecox. And he gets into the dungeon. Happy days for Vecox.
I went on Red Relief.
He survived that execute. So we'll go over to Red Relief here.
Yeah, Red Relief does have action. He's fighting against GDL once again. Lukovka isn't into the zone yet. Otherwise, we might have hopped on that. But Red Relief here with the gloves. I love how many of these we're seeing in here in ZVZs now. It's getting more and more.
This is my favorite weapon, the Bridled Fury. The Avalonian daggers. I love this weapon. It's so satisfying to use. I had an 8-3 set from the first Holy War, but
They
survived
look so
about
much like
3
gloves.
weeks.
How is this?
They are gloves. They are gloves. Look, he's got glove users all around him, and he just fits in. But yeah, it's a different type of clap weapon. They did remove the invulnerability though, which made it a bit weak. Excuse me.
Well, yeah, if you remove invulnerability, you're definitely making something weaker. But like, it's still a pretty decent setup here.
Weapon, yeah. And we'll see him in action. So he charges 3 stacks, sprints in with his defenseless rush, and tries to go bang.
Oh, GDL with an incredible engage here. Great push up against the wall. That's when you want to attack somebody. When they're not paying attention to the map and they're moving their guys into a noob trap like this, you can slam them against the wall. They have nowhere to go. They have to have perfect support and defensives or they're going to lose huge numbers. And that's what happened there. Great job by GDL.
They were forced to run through a couple of energy shaper beams as well there. That feels awful. You just have to go through it because there's no other way. And these GDL's not letting up here. These guys want round 2. They want a load more loot than they got earlier. Wow, this guy's using Shadow Edge. He's using Shadow Edge on his Bridled instead of the... Everybody used to use Spinning Throwing Blades because you get 45% damage buff. Couple that with Defenseless Rush, which is 15% damage rush. And then some people used to use Cleric Robe. He's gone for Hellion Jacket, so he's sacrificing a bit of damage for a bit of survivability, which I think is absolutely fine if you're using, particularly if you're using like a high IP bridled. I think you can afford to sacrifice some damage for survivability, because I always say, right, it's all well and good like having giga clap damage, but would you rather have 15% damage but you get 3 claps off, or 15% extra damage but you die after the first one? Do you know what I mean? Survivability generally leads to more DPS overall especially in a close fight.
Just thanking some of the guys who've been sending us information. Thank you guys so much for keeping up with us and letting us know when there's content out there. It's so hard for us to bounce around to the entire world. So if you guys have reports of live content, please contact me in-game on the Shozen One or Lewpac on Lewpac Host, correct?
I'm on Lewpac Cast GM right now. I've been having some accounting issues since I changed PCs.
Lewpac Cast GM. Lewpac Cast GM. Write it down. Don't forget it. That's who he is.
We can officially ring the bell. Ding, ding, ding. The territories are now live, and the boss teams will be getting underway to kill some bosses and claim some territories. That said, I really like Invasion Day now. It's just, all right, you know, everything's up for grabs, but you can always claim it tomorrow if you don't get it today. Back when GVGs controlled territories, Invasion Day was mega important, especially if you didn't have as many GVGers, because obviously then you can, you can grab territories if you don't have a GVG team. But now, Invasion Day is the same as any other day. You can just launch on a tower and claim it. So people just tend to prioritize the fights, which is awesome for the action, isn't it? Like,
absolutely, yeah. There's so many more fights than there used to be. It's incredible. We are seeing right now a Big Banana take on an elite Vengeful Guardian Lord with a reasonable sized group here. We've seen a lot of people who try to go at these with the full stack of their entire ZVZ force. It gets really sloppy. A lot of people get let down. It opens a lot of windows for people to come attack you. I really like these small groups. I'm also going to head over to Monjay.
The average boss squad, though. Like an ideal boss squad is 8 people.
Yeah, like 8 to 9 right now. You can do it with 7 if you're elite, but going at it with just over, underneath the threshold, of 13 to make sure you don't make it in rage.
Yeah, I also don't like blobbing on it either, if you can avoid it.
True. But I think people are so just used to the situation where they know where everybody is, 2 to 3 zones around them, especially when you're in a larger force.
Yeah, like this group of 20 on the boss, it would only take 3 good clappers to probably drop them all. Like and this would be. I can hear that, yeah. I can literally hear Keeper of Nature salivating at the prospect of this blob under the tower. He's overcharging his longbow as we speak. But these guys are going to be absolutely fine. They're going to get this done. Not a problem.
Over on MonJP, right now, MonJP and Reject Party are currently fighting against Oops and Different Cloth. I believe a couple other groups are here with them right now. This is going to be an interesting zone as we do have people coming in from the northeast and southeast. Reject Party backing up, and so is Oops as they prepare for the incoming groups.
So they're with Oops, then I take it. They are affiliated or working together.
They were just fighting.
Oh, okay, because I did see them collapse onto PoE and then posture like they were going to fight. Surf update. Surf are officially out of the dungeon and on the field, so we might see something from them a bit later on. But here comes the carpet, and it looks like Reject Party want to go somewhere, and they want to go somewhere in a hurry. Where are they going? MonJP, take us there. Looks like they're just trying to get to a better position now.
Yeah, so there were other groups coming to the zone. They did send a group south to go and clap on Oops. It was a nasty engagement, although Oops did turn on these guys and flatten them.
Just murdered some people on the road.
I believe that was actually PoE, oddly enough.
Well,
there might have been a situation where there were some members of PoE in the zone, and Oops and Reject Party collapsed on top of each other with a little bit of friendly fire. But I think they're fighting. I think that they are just removing the third party before fighting.
Yeah, well, if we're about to see something, we're going to see it soon, because MonJP and some of the tanks are sprinting in. This be an ideal one to catch. Dismount comes, Mon and these boys gonna have to get out soon, I think. I'm not sure what they're doing here. Oh, there's a nice catch. Onto Oops. Bombs from up the hill. Looks like a lot of damage is being taken. I'm on. Are we still on
Trying
Mon
to find out
JP?
who, yeah, I'm on Mon JP. I'm trying to see who's doing this damage to Oops.
He's just kind of
PoE. It's PoE. There's PoE over the top. So
Right,
this is
okay.
PoE versus Oops. I'm going to actually research this. I'm going to give a message out to one of our guys to see what's going on with this.
Yeah, 'cause I'm pretty sure Reject Party could have slapped them in the side if they wanted to. I'm going to jump onto Syndic then and try and get a bit of a PoE POV.
Sounds good.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I get that PoEV kind of reference. It was real good.
You probably want to leave a few on the hideout as well. You probably like leave a few on the hideout just to keep them in check. And it does look like Oops are getting run down here. Order and Hospitalia, CIR working in tandem. I like this of CIR. If we look at Syndic's POV, they're sort of sweeping round.
Oh, look at that big
wide.
reject party down in the south. If they come in and they collapse up this into PoE, it would be absolutely devastating. They're going to take the long route over the top.
Syndic's got full cooldown squad coming straight at them, actually. So if they try and go
They're
on
going in
Orden
deep
right now, if they try and go on Orden right now, Syndic's going to come in with quite a hefty flank. Let us know what's going on from your POV. I'm on Syndic right now.
I'm still on Mon JP, watching him move his guys through PoE. He's trying to find the front of it. He's currently on top of Syndic, which means the main force of his guys are right behind. As soon as these guys stop to engage with Oops, it's going to be a demount and flank situation. Full sandwich in effect by Reject Party.
Okay, so they're behind Syndic right now. Okay.
And they're demounting now. We've seen the first demount. Brawl ensues. Oh, the engagement is fully in the back line. Syndic was never able to get his guys to turn towards the mounted members of Reject Party. It was a massacre in the back lines. Lots of dead bodies. Mon JP just cycling through and trying to find another clump. There's nobody left for Reject Party to fight because they're all dead.
Well, most of Syndic's group's gone through. They actually went through the Oops line, just trying to sort of. I think they were trying to make Reject Party not able to engage over the top of their allies.
Again, though, great catch by Mon JP. Another 10 PoE members going down there with no support for any of them, just a collapse.
I'm on Syndic. Syndic's looking for an angle here on something. There's so many like random ungilded mounted people. Now Syndic and his boys are mounting up. I think they're just bouncing. Mon JP. I mean, if
it's over. I mean, like, there's no fight to have.
Oops, they can turn their attention to them now, but it doesn't.
I think it might have been a situation before that what we saw was PoE was between Oops and Reject Party, and they were willing to wipe that group out. Because here we go. Are they going to turn on Oops right now? This is the opportunity.
Yeah, that would be Yeah, if they were hitting Oops, they would have hit them right there. Oh no!
And we see the command mammoth with one bar. Yeah, they are. They are going in on Oops.
No, they did. I think they just like.
Yeah, see, you would go after
incentives on each other, like just to be like, look, don't engage here, bros. That was just a safety grail, I think.
Okay. Because we see that mammoth going through into Reject Party, and it's almost as if he's using Reject Party for safety because he doesn't want to get hit, and he only has one bar. So he's using these guys as
Africa now is on top of Mon JP. They are spamming stuff on them. I don't know. Africa.
What is this?
All right, no.
Africa now is engaging.
I rescind the previous statement.
What is going on?
I would like, we just ran alongside each other like everything was chill, and then it wasn't chill anymore.
Oh my god. E-dating is a sin, and apparently they need to be able to say that to each other
that's
a number of times.
So because of the sort of the lull, the behemoths from Oops were able to like get really far up, and now they're just spamming kegs on everybody that's kiting away.
But how do you not take that opportunity if you're Mon JP though, when you have Oops in that choke?
I think they were like, oh, I don't know if we're fighting. Let's not engage on them, like, because we might not be fighting.
And that mammoth should be demounted and owned by now. They should have owned that mammoth.
I still feel like they're not fighting properly. I don't know what's going on right now.
They're fighting, like, there's a full chase mode going on right now by Oops, and they are taking down anybody in the back line they can get their hands on. and we're seeing a lot of defensives thrown the opposite direction by Reject Party.
Mammoth is
So-
like negative HP right now.
I
I think.
know, like it was inside of Reject Party for a good 3 minutes.
Who's your money on here?
Well, seeing what we just saw from Reject Party, not knowing that they're fighting Oops, it's kind of like watching Tyler Durden punch himself in the face.
Oops are already in the castle. And yeah, look, they're flanking through the castle already. There's some clappers going off in the back. They will die for it, but they did enough damage and they're probably happy with that. Who owns the castle right this second?
I would say
wonder.
probably Reject Party. They were there earlier,
Yeah.
holding it.
So they have options here with it, and it looks like they want to push back down. Oops are inside the courtyard, though. They're coming in from the courtyard, and they're coming in from the south. It's a nice hold on the tank, so that's a brilliant stoppage. Good play from the Grove Keepers of Reject Party there. But yeah, like, half of them are breaking for the doors. Half of them are in the courtyard. It does seem like Reject Party just hasn't really got it together right now, have they?
No, they need to get their shit together. What the hell was like? I don't know what we saw. These guys are generally much more coordinated than this. We see some very good plays by them. I think they might have been working together to remove PoE.
Yeah.
And like made an agreement, and like they didn't know when it ended. And Africa now was like, oh, these guys are easy to clap right now. I'm going for this. This is the time. We're not friends. We're just friendly friends.
Frenemies. There's another blob zoned in, by the way. Oops and Reject Party reinforcements here.
Everybody's reinforcements are running along together, just perhaps trying to tell the other team how many of the other members are coming in as reinforcements. Get a good scout on.
One JP off on his Panther. Just see you later, boys. Cool.
What are you doing, man? Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, he's out. He's out.
They're all going out this door. They're all trying to go out this door, I think, and no one's got eyes on it. Like if Reject Party wanted to leave, they could just leave right now. No.
Well, they're leaving. Like they're going to territory. So they own territory already. So they're going to territory to take the territory advantage, because then they can have all the guards.
I've lost Oops. I'll be honest.
Oops should be by the castle still, and
the territory's not claimed, is it? Oh no, the territory has been claimed by Reject.
Yeah, it's already been claimed.
They've now got the level 8 territory if they want it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oops is the large group in the center of the map running out the door alongside what I can only describe as 75 to 80 rats.
This was the most confusing spectacle of all time. Both with a level 40, they looked like they wanted to fight, then they didn't want to fight, and now they've just left each other. Like, I don't really get it. It feels like a bit like a Cold War situation.
More confusing than an IRL date with King Mojo. What do you do? Okay, Lewpac.
I don't know. I'm just processing, you know. A couple of Dove healers getting caught at the tail end of this CVC. Really unfortunate for timing for them. They were just coming towards the gate as the entire Oops zoned in. And he says there's a rat here. He's waiting for the loot to drop before he dismounts.
Jeez.
But obviously, it's going to be a problem for him. Although he's
Right, over to Fran Lee. Oh, Syndic also has action here versus I Am Niubi. And I don't know how long he'll have that, so you might want to just throw that on the second one so you can watch the end of that. I'll put Fran Lee into the chat.
EQMS, then. Former arch loyalist, now
former PoE loyalist
with I Am Newbie and Crash of God. So actually, this might be all part of a bigger fight, and it's Savage and the Out Alliance against them. EQMS though weighing in at 41 debuff right now for the third alliance. And looking to push out loads of locusts. Really nice defenses in the EQMS boys. Pushing on out. And it does look like a full route here. If there was a turn, I believe it would have come now. Savage. This is a Savage hideout, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe a few of them were trying to Oh yeah, a few of them were trying to get
collapse
from
on at the
territory
door.
into there, and I wouldn't pop out of this hideout right now.
No, it's not a good time. It's not a good time at all. But there was a large massacre outside. Maybe go outside and do some looting. There's a lot of bodies right at the door.
You can't move or you lose your bubble. Friendly actually might go down here. Where the heals at? Where the heals at, boys? There.
Not enough heals. Currently at 2K. He's gonna need more. There we go.
Nearly got executed there as well. Savage putting up a bit more of a fight now, looking for some turn. Only one. Here comes the return. There's a huge amount to the north. The DPS, if they can connect up this choke, that's going to be huge. But no, they're going to have to settle for a couple of tanks because their DPS couldn't get the depth nor the girth required to penetrate that high ground, Shozen.
See what you did there.
A little bit of subtle, barely noticeable innuendo to spice up the show, although the action itself is spicy enough. And that's some... Oh, you love to see that. Perfectly the damnation timing, 0.5 seconds before the DPS land. That hits me. That hits me in the right spot, Shozen. That's what gets me going in these EVZs. And the dammy timing is exquisite like that. And everybody, you just know when you land that dammy and you know the damage is about to follow up, you're just like, this gonna be good. You know it's about to kick off.
Absolutely. When you can get deep in like that and fully penetrate, you can really make them feel it and just bury them deep.
MS are being battered, actually. As they kite, every turn is costing them a lot of people.
They're going home. They're going home slowly here, Lewpac. They just don't have enough turn on this. If they want to stay alive here from Savage, they need to pick one of these chokes and turn it. They are getting pushed too deep.
Think about it, Shozen. No, think about it, Shozen, right? As they kite, what are they leaving behind? The Savage HQ. Where are the reinforcements coming from? Behind them.
Yeah.
They're literally, everyone they kill...
put themselves up against the wall now, Lewpac. There's no way out here. They have to make a turn to do this. And so this is, they have to, this is it.
They're playing like dum-dums. They're just being kited and whittled down. And now I think they're done.
Well, there was finally a good turn here. They took them down the choke where they had a very tight area, and they used it for the turn.
Choke. They killed 20 on that previous choke. EQMS is done. Reinforcements are coming from behind them. Like, there's nothing they could do. Like, why on earth did they not secure the tower, hold the hideout, and just play there? There is a group on the tower right now, and it is EQMS. It is blobbed.
They are down. They are down on their knees. They are down to 5 maybe standing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
They have resurrect healers though. The healers are rezzing.
The healers are rezzing. So they were down quite a bit, but now they're finally getting their guys back up. Remember, they are coming out.
100k left on the boss, and they need to get it done.
Savage is on the way.
Before Savage arrives. Savage is now fighting third, though. So the rest of the third alliance, Crasher God, are here, but it is a bit of a murder.
This is a mistake by these guys from EQMS. Did they just come join this and buff up the HP?
It's low enough that it doesn't matter though. Like you don't want to buff it at full HP. I think they realized they're on a timer and they got it, and that's going to activate the tower. The tower is level 6, so all of a sudden EQMS have grabbed themselves a pretty defensible position, provided these guys get the channel off in time. It does look like Savage. There is Savage on the field, but they're not going to be able to stop this. So now the tower has flipped. The guards have spawned, and some guys from Savage that were looking for interrupts, and now got a bunch of guards on top of them, plus the entire force that was capping is available. So the brave guys who were looking to save the tower just paid the ultimate price, but luckily for them, they are coming out of a HQ right outside. And I imagine, I mean, if EQMS are smart, they look for a place to they probably just leave via the east here, because you've got the tower. There's nothing they can do about that, and you don't just want to be whittled down from their HQ. I mean, you've got a big force. What have they got on field? 32 and a level 6 tower. Maybe they just fancy it. Maybe they think they could just farm Savage. Like, it all depends on how much Savage is willing to commit to this. Savage is a lower debuff right now, but they could have a bunch of people waiting to respawn. But yeah, I mean, a level 6 tower and a big force is nice for farming sets. It really is.
We're about to have another round between Reject Party and Oops. Sorry, why am I saying Oops? Oops is here. They're going to be fighting PoE. I don't know. I still don't know what the deal is with Oops and Reject Party because, again, it kind of looks like they're friendly again.
Syndic once says, I miss Mammoth Syndic. Mammoth Syndic was my favorite Syndic. Because it was like the mother duck with all the little ducklings behind.
Yeah.
They're just not the same without Mammoth Syndic. But even the endless, bottomless coffers of PoE can only stomach so many Mammoth losses.
Yeah, I've heard they're not in that situation anymore and that money is tight.
Yeah. I don't believe that for a second. I've seen how they were managed. I've seen how they were managed. I was there.
You don't believe that they're running out of money? Because that's what they keep. I keep hearing it. I keep hearing it, man.
I was there for the glory days. I was there for the Anglia, Mercia, Cumbria domination. Right? Syndic had all of Cumbria. I had all of Anglia. Derek had all of Mercia. I know firsthand how much money was made. Right? And unless you mismanaged it to the levels of the US government, then you still got money, right? You would have to have like the Enron executive team in charge of your finances to lose all that money.
Well, Reject Party is currently attacking Oops here in Iceburn Firth, and it does look like these two have decided to be on opposite sides of the battle, and it's not going great for Oops at the moment. Africa now is back leading these guys, but it just seems like Mon JP and Angelique are taking care of business.
Syndic is currently running a pain train through I Am Newbie here. They're throwing a few counters, but you know there's like half counters where the tanks go in, but not everybody else is worried about their set. Kind of feels like that. And
Just an absolutely massive engagement over here on Mon JP. Both sides crashing, and we can see at least 7 guys down from Reject Party and many more for Oops. And if you watch that, that is another dozen down for Oops. And I believe there's going to be another follow-up catch here as it looks like Mon JP is setting up another one right over the top of the point. No. Okay, they're going to let that one go. There was too many fights going over the north.
What do we got on screen right now, Bogul?
I believe... I'll head over to Angelique then instead of Mon JP. Sorry, Bo.
Syndic has caught a few guys on some shallows, but he went kind of deep to try and commit to this. Oh, they caught a huge chunk of I Am Newbie. Generally, you can remember as well, I Am Newbie probably playing with a bit of a ping disadvantage as one of our Asia coalitions and guilds.
They've been doing quite well, though, for themselves, proving that ping isn't everything. Very important in 5v5s, but often you can get away with it in some of the large.
It's certainly not the be-all and end-all, but it definitely is a difference.
It is.
Anyone would be lying if he said there was no advantage to it. That said, Syndic and his boys kind of got massacred on the chase here, and I feel like Third may have turned this fight around. I'm trying to sort of weigh up the numbers right now. It's all going to rely on this next PoE engage. This next PoE engage needs to be a big one, and it needs to get some casualties. There's a huge clump here. Syndic's in deep. The collection is good. The clump is good, but the dump is non-existent. And this is where they seem to be lacking time and time again. You know, Syndic still got it about setting it up, finding those angles, but his DPS... They need to get on VOD reviews right now because they
do. They really need to.
Not hitting these clumps anymore.
And it's not just the DPS too, man. The support is where I feel like PoE is the weakest. Like their ability to hit the needed support that isn't called for from an obvious engagement is really low. Like they're not dropping the enigmatic stabs and the Judies and the locusts properly. It's not where it needs to be. And you're right. VOD review needs to happen because those guys there's too many of them to have this result over and over again.
They're about to get another chance on it. I do think they have swarmed I Am Newbie down here, but They're just getting held up. Like, the inertia rings are really good. I am newbie might look for a really nice turn here on the south. If those bombers go off, we're going to see some heavy casualties.
It does look like the reject party and Oops fight has wrapped up. I'm back over on Syndic now.
Did they fight?
Oh yeah,
Good.
and Oops I think took the brunt of it. But the first one to run was reject party, so I don't know exactly what caused them to end that fight. It looked like they had really put the stomp to Oops. Oh, that'll do it. I don't know if Bogul was live there, but he says that Elevate came in.
Everybody panicked and ran for the hills. We got, oh, no, I like that. My man Wadwa saw there. He's like, right, I'm surrounded by PoE. I'm going to die. The only thing to do is press E and drop as much damage as possible before I go down. I like that. Go down swinging. Take a couple with you if you can. Syndic, yeah, they got this wrapped up. I'm newbie, full routed. PoE going to be collecting the goodies here. Taking a couple of beatings throughout the day. Hammer and Sickle were about to arrive as well. So at level 60 PoE here. That is the most I've seen today so far. That is quite a lot of people, Shozen. In fact, Bogul, how many is that level 60? Give him a sec.
Look up the chart.
He should have like cheat sheets on his desk.
We have it pinned, so if you go over to our
Yeah.
DBZ room, we have it pinned up
I
there.
think he should have laminated posters. 295, and the zone cap is, remind me, Bogul?
350.
350. So there is room for 55 people to fight them. Obviously, cluster queue changes the way that works, but that's still a lot of waiting as well, isn't it? Like, if you do get into a cluster queue fight, it's going to give them a huge advantage.
Disarray advantage. The situation is there, if you can only get half your guys in and the other guys are all counting in your disarray, and you're already having a problem being as getting off your DPS, like you said before, and following through, anything you're doing to, hurt that.
Well, that's when
It's
gaming
not
the
good.
system comes into play, shows. And what
Well,
you
they're
do
not
is
anymore.
you stack the queue with everybody, right, to get your higher percentage in the zone. Then the guys that didn't get in drop queue on that rotation, and you try and fight them in that 2-minute window before the
you
next.
have, yeah,
next
that like
rotation.
you have to do that. You have to lower your disarray debuff. That is a way to do it. I think it's wiser, honestly, to just send in half right away and just split it so that you don't have to worry about losing more guys going in. Balance out what you're going into, because you generally know by looking at the disarray debuff through scouts of what your opponent is going to bring. Bring an equal measure, and as you lose guys, replace them. Your opponent won't be able to replace them as often as you do, and you can gain the advantage. Even if you're just sending in 20 guys at a time and then messing with some of their cluster queue situation, if they're sending all their guys in, use your numbers to your advantage in a meaningful way, not just as a let me throw all of them in at once. You can find better ways to take advantage of this. I mean, without gaming it in that way where you only get that 2-minute window. You can keep that similar disarray debuff for the entire fight and basically have infinite reinforcements.
Yeah, that's fair. That's definitely an option.
Okay, we have Triple A versus Oops once again over on Fran Lee, heading there now.
Okay, coming. Oh,
Oh,
you
we're
want
going to Big Banana? All right, send it over.
The biggest banana himself in Iceburn Tundra was doing a bit of bossing earlier, and now he's going to be bossing these fights. Oh, that's another nasty choke point. The new map layouts have definitely got some nice ZVZ setups, and a few of the tanks maybe getting caught. Nope, good defensives, good saves here, and they're going to be okay. This here then is this is a really annoying one to flank actually. So there's a tiny choke to the north, which currently isn't being covered by anybody. So either side could flank that north choke and maybe make something happen here. Other than that, you would have to go all the way around this cliff, which is a heck of a run. And there's no bomb angles because there's a big thing and oh my goodness. Big
Both
banana.
teams are
Oh,
scouting that northern pass, by the way.
I need a new friendly.
No, he's
Wait,
not here. That's the wrong guys. But
oh
we
no.
can go to Africa now on the Oops POV.
All right. Well, I mean, without Big Banana, what do they have? Because that
I
man.
don't know. But he's gone, and Africa now is pushing through like a hot knife through butter here. TikTok getting, they just don't last long enough. They're going down fast.
No, man. These. I mean, they don't have the greatest shot caller of a generation. If you've never ever experienced Big Banana shot calling, you owe it to yourself to join a AAA guild and just go to a few ZVZs, because it is the most hype and enjoyable shot calling you'll probably get in Albion Online. The guy is an absolute legend. And I mean, it was just a defensive misplay. Your shot caller, your lead tank should not get deleted like that. Most of the shot callers, they run Cleric Cal for this very reason, to avoid those one taps. The only time you can't activate a Cleric Cowl is during a knock-up. Knock-up is a very unique CC in this game. So chaining
you
knock-up
have to
is
have that
very
ice
good.
block. We've seen so many people choose that. Though Africa now as well, also choosing Adjudicator armor instead of, what am I saying? Can't
Yeah,
cough
Julia.
and lose my
Julia.
head. There, give me a moment. You go, Lewpac, go.
They were chasing and they all got frozen. Yeah, very standard defensive tank build. Refreshing sprint as well. No, he's actually using rush. I mean, rush is okay. The thing is with the soul scythe is none of the CC actually gets the benefit of rush. The reason people use rush is it's actually like the quickest skill. A couple of double blades trying to gank during the zone.
Sorry, that ice block is definitely on the helm. What was Big Banana using on his helm instead?
I don't know because he's dead, so I can't see. I'll see if he re-gears in Dove's hideout and see what he was. I think he was using, yeah, he is using ice block. I just think he didn't get it off in time, or he got chain knocked up, couldn't get it off, or he'd already used it on a previous engage. At which point you got to play very carefully. But the DPS combo was lovely. Like again, it was just like a ton of armor shred, followed up by the tanks just disappearing like they were not. They died like mobs at that point. 40, 50 Dove probably died. There's 44 in Dove's hideout, which right now probably indicates the casualties they took in there. A couple more nakeds appearing over time. So that's yeah, and the party looks like it's disbanding. So these guys might be calling it for their first half of Invasion Day. Syndic is over in River Corps Fount. Looks like just a journey home after that fight with I Am Newbie. Gotta go and de-loot from that. They took a lot of casualties earlier.
But I have to say, a lot of guys got content today, except for I didn't see Elevate getting into much content. They kind of just.
Do you feel like everybody's just
everybody off
right now? Yeah, I think most people.
I think that was. Yeah, they just want to stay away. A little scared, maybe.
I got Surf, more Surf. I'm still anything from Surf. I mean, obviously, Surf spent a bit of time chilling in a dungeon.
I think we saw him fight once.
They got out. Looks like all the towers are claimed as well.
Good.
Not too much to say about that. Like,
Lewpac, remember when what we would have to do is look at the towers and try to find out which ones were still available to fight over, and it would take us 15 minutes to find content. And
we used to watch it live. We used to watch the towers tick live and see who was claiming what. Back then, though, like, there was a lot less alliances and organizations, so you kind of had these pre-established regions, whereas it's much better now in that the map is much more fluid. Like, who's claiming what is way more fluid, like way more interesting.
One layer I would love to get now, because we have these time zone layers, Lewpac. I would love to see a secondary time zone layer that just showed us the invasion day layers. Like these are the zones that one invasion day gets. These are the zones the other invasion day gets, and split it into
Yeah.
just two. Because honestly, trying to separate it by color, even by time zones, when they're just different shades like that, unless it's you're like Aqua 3 and not Aqua 4, it's
Yeah.
it can be very hard to
And it doesn't help
differentiate.
that outposts and castles color the zone half of that color as well. I feel like they should have no impact on
None.
the.
Yeah, absolutely. They should not be splitting the zone like they do.
Yeah.
I would really like to see a layer like that, and I don't imagine it would be that hard. I think I'm gonna have to send that one in for a
Yeah,
suggestion.
give us like a separate like castle and outpost tab if we want to see the owners of those. Don't make it part of territory control, because the way I look at it is an outpost could be flipped in 2 minutes. A castle could be flipped in 5 minutes. Like that does not denote ownership of a zone in any way. And it just convolutes. Like we've been casting this game for coming on 6 years now. We've seen it all, so we're used to working with this map. But to a new player, the map, it just looks a bit confusing, I imagine. As
I
to
hope
who
one day
owns
we
what.
do get a above world map like
Like a
rework on
flat
it. Yeah.
map, like a sort of Total War kind of zoomed out thing. That'd be cool.
That would be sick. I know Bogul has been a proponent of that. He and I have been trying to get a live map on a website where it shows
I
who
wanted
owns
that
what.
years ago for the
Like,
wars. I wanted a
so
tick
long.
showing
Yeah.
who was claiming what territories on a day. That would have been amazing.
Let you know, like being able to rewind that like as a color map so that you can see
Yeah.
who was expanded over time and shrunk over time. Ththese things would be absolutely incredible to have. And
Time lapse
someday, maybe.
of the history of Albion would be so cool. Like seeing the colors over the map, seeing like that Mercia domination of red, the Oops Alliance, and then the PoE hitting them, and then the merger, and then oh my goodness, so much history in this game.
It's
Like
amazing how much history is in this game.
Queen, pre this rework of the Outlands. I mean, I prefer the new Outlands if I'm being honest.
Same. Yeah, same. Absolutely
But
prefer the
you
new
can't.
world.
The history was so good. Like we had some epic storylines, epic stuff. And the great thing is there's nothing stopping all that happening again. And now what I think it's better now though than having just this world war between two sides. We have, 50 to 100 individual little wars going on, meaning everybody's fighting over their own slice of Albion. It's not just like this one congealed mess with one front line. There's just a ton of stuff going on. And I like it. People have got their own little corners, their little patch of 4 or 5 territories, and they're very possessive and they fight over their neighbors. And it's just great to see this diverse map nowadays. That said, I don't think we have a lot of action left. There is no towers currently available to be captured. And we need to account for the delay and get Robin Hooders here for some 20v20 action. You had me last week, but it's back to the duo of Robin and Shozen for today. But don't worry, if you want more of my sarcasm and innuendo, I'll be back here for the 5v5 show. What we got tonight, Bogle? Refresh my memory.
5, 6, 7s.
5, 6, 7.
we have.
That is officially BBS. Shozen, big boy shit. Level 5, 6, and 7 Crystal League action. Some lovely gear, some lovely IPs, and all of our best teams throwing down, trying to grab hold of those level 8 tokens. Anything left to do, Shozen?
No, we can just say that we will be back again in about, well, gosh, I was going to say 15 minutes, but it's even less than that now. I think we're looking at probably like
it'll
7.
be like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
When you hear us say this,
we're going to be back in 7 minutes or so with 20v20s. We're just going to have one round today. We expect to see the same 2 teams we've been watching for quite a while. They are continuously going at it, and we look forward to seeing them again today. That will be followed by a short break, and we will be back at 20:30 with more 5v5 content. As we said, we'll be doing level 5, 6, and 7. Then we'll be taking an extended break before coming back once again for the NA portion of the Invasion Day.
Not me. I'll be asleep. Bogle, you'll be asleep, won't you?
Yep, sir. Fast asleep.
Classic will press buttons. Robin will talk, and Shozen will talk, and the rest of us.
I don't know.
The rest of us sensible ones will be asleep.
Let's be honest here. By that time, with the COVID as it is now, I'm pretty sure by that time there will be a little bit of Shozen in the show. But
Benadrylled off his mind, mate, by
oh,
that
God,
time.
how am I
Love
doing
it.
this?
Also, if you are a little money hungry goblin in chat, the raffles will resume during 20v20s, 5v5s. I'm sure Shozen's got loads of gold to give
I do.
them.
I do.
I've got like 100 7-day premium codes from the creator program. Can I just drop them in chat for the memes during the show? Just
If
like
you want to do that, no, Lewpac, the day to do
Oh,
that is to
them.
come on the newbie show on Thursday.
All right.
When we do a newbie show with you, that will be a way to bump
I
up
do it
the
this
number.
Thursday's on
You
as
tell.
well.
You know what? Let me
If I'm
talk to the
seeing each
guys
other's-
because we lost one on last Thursday. I believe next Thursday we have Nomad Poncho scheduled, and then we have Black Boa scheduled as he's doing his new thing. Does anybody remember what it's called? Somebody please.
Solo
Sandbox
player
Pantheon.
scorecard.
Okay, that was two different answers.
Yeah, he's doing like a solo player scorecard where you
Yeah,
do challenges and stuff.
That's part of his new blog. And Bogle, what's his new blog called?
Pantheon, I think. Sandbox Pantheon stream team.
Sandbox
something.
Pantheon. Yes. And I love this because, guys, you remember the
Sue him.
Magic Mark
Let's sue
interview
him
of
for-
Magic
for
Mark?
copyright infringement there. See if he's calling it Sandbox. Can we just like get some money?
No, please don't. Anything he's doing to promote Albion, I'm absolutely in favor of.
Obviously. Right.
But we have a couple more winners. I just announced them in chat. Do whisper me to claim your prize. We will be giving away gold codes all day, like has been said numerous times. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back in 5.
Right. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you later on.